Hey Brittany, this is John with Opals. Going to go through the process of cataloging an item. But before I did that, I just did a search of fiction so I know what types of call numbers you're using for fiction. And I see that you're using an E, probably easy, GN for graphic novel, FIC for not easy fiction. So you're using FIC and E. Oh, this one needs a cutter. Cake versus pie needs to have BAR um, down here. And now E. Okay, that helps me to, so I have an understanding of your call numbers. And I also know you have a barcode range that'll come into play here. Okay, so let's go to items, Z import. And these are the resources you have. By the way, I'm going to add a few more here for you. MainCat has reduced their searching ability to just title. Not very good. I paused the recording for a minute and I added an exceptional resource to find records for books, and I did delete MainCat. I find they're useless. Okay, items. This is where we'll start out. Items. Z import. Z stands for Z3950, which are these resources. There's Z3950, and Z3950 is a protocol that libraries all over the world use to share records. I just added Sitka. It's exceptional. Okay. 1 second. So I'm going to put in the ISBN, one of them you sent along. There it is. You'll scan that with your barcode scanner. If it's on the back of the book, lower right corner, you can scan them. Newer books usually have it. Your scanner will also click the search button. Mel Fell. There's the book. And I'm looking at 2021. You might want to check that out. And Harper and Collins, etc. And it's one volume that has no pagination. So to start actually cataloging Mel Fell, you click the title. There's the cover of the book. Let me know if it looks like that. It should. Okay, and here's the bibliographic record. The bib record is what is used for your teachers and students to look in your catalog and find books. So you want a robust bib record. And when I say robust, I mean, let's go down here. Here's a nice summary. Okay, let's go to Kingfisher's fiction, birds, flight, self-confidence. I don't know the author. I don't know the title of the book, but I want a book on self-confidence or flight or birds. I'll find this book. That's why these are very good. Okay, it's a good record. If you needed to or wanted to add an additional subject heading, add data field. So I'll just go down here. I suggest you use a 690 because you don't have to conform to LOC standards. So you would click Add Data Field, 690, and it's always 690 with a lowercase a. I'm not going to put anything in. I can't think of anything, and I don't have the book in my hand. But I'll just leave it as it is. Actually, I'll delete it. But that's how you put a new one in. I'll delete it. All right, so we like the MARC record. Now we go back up to the top. We're going to go to the holding record, which represents what you're holding in your hand. Whoever contributed this record puts brackets. You don't want brackets. But you do use E. So I'm going to leave the E there. And who's the author? I forgot. Corey Tabor. So we're going to use TAB as the cutter, and that's how it'll sit on the shelf. TAB. All right. Now I'm going to go down to P, the barcode. So if I click here, don't choose next barcode from database, choose Brownington items. Or if you print your barcodes ahead of time, you could just scan a barcode, just use manual entry. And if you have them already printed out, just scan it right here. I'm going to use Brownington items. That's the next available. Okay. If you like, you can put a price here. So we've just finished the cataloging. I'm I'm going to click, if I was done for the day, I'd click save, go home. But I'm going to do another one. So I click save and exit, close, and it goes back to Z import, ready for the next book in hand, which we'll do. I'm using Sitka. I could use schools. Well, I'll go to the schools. If you don't find it on one, click down, go to the next, the next, the next, the next. Okay. I'm going to put in the ISBN, search, swimming towards a dream. All right, Olympic swimmer. All right, so we're going to click the title. It opens up the records, bib record and holding. There's the cover. It's a 797, so I don't think this is fiction. Let's go down. Let's look at the record. Great summary. Whoa. This is great. All these words are indexed and you can search them. 526s, Olympic Games, women swimmers, refugees. Great. If you want to add more, put it right here after the 650, click Add Data Field, and add another field. Actually, I'm going to add one. I'm going to add a 690, as I told you earlier, and I'm going to put A. Oops, I can't spell. Women athletes. Doesn't hurt. Okay, let's go to the top. Like I said, a robust record is great. I don't know the title, I don't know the author, but I want a book on women athletes. Okay, let's go to the holding record. This is nonfiction. We leave 792.2, 797.2. There's the cutter. If it wasn't there, I'd put it in all caps MAR. There's a price. I'm not sure if that's your price. You could fix it, go and edit the record if you like. Now we're going to click the barcode field. Knows the next number, 1975. Okay. Save and exit. And we'll do the final ISBN you sent. And another, if it doesn't find, if you go through all these resources and you do not find the ISBN, you can go back, and keeping it at anywhere, you could put the author's last name, such as Riley, and a few words of the title, Floating Field. Then you might find the book, okay? So if it doesn't find it by ISBN, last name of the author, Floating Field, then there's a good chance it'll be found. So here we have 2 copies, same press. Let's just click the first one. There's Floating Field. I'm going down. Okay, it's a 796. By the way, I'm going to adjust this. That's too many numbers, and I'll show you in a moment. Okay, there's the author, the title. Okay, another summary. Okay. Okay, soccer, Thailand. Whoa, soccer fields, teamwork. Okay, it looks like an interesting book. I can't think of any other subject headings. It seems like it's not fiction. So I'm going to go back up to the top and we'll use the Dewey number. If you do decide with having the book in hand it is fiction, you can always change it. Holding record, 796. I suggest no more than 2 or 3 numbers after the dot. I'm going to stick with this. Take that out. You don't need it. It's just too much for the students to look at and teachers. All right, now we'll put the barcode on, 1976 PCS, okay. All right, and I'm going to save because I'm done. I've done the 3 records, and now I'm going to show you how you can print both barcodes if you need to print them, and/or spine labels. Let's go back to your home screen. And here are your new items, and here are the 3 books that were just added just now, just today. Sometimes it takes 20 to 40 seconds for the indexes to run, but here they all are. Printing labels, admin, reports and tools. Item acquisitions, what did we acquire? When it opens, it'll run for today. There's the 3 items. Could be 30 items. By the way, some librarians do their labeling at the end of the week, so they would do a from of Monday, and maybe Friday they would have that date. But most librarians actually probably do it at the end of the day. We only have 3, so select all pages. I'm assuming you have spine labels that are separate from the barcode labels. Your barcode labels, if they're not pre-printed, they should be Avery 5160, and your spine label should be a 1 by 1 2/3 rectangle label. We'll start with the barcodes, select all pages, print item label sets, print barcode label with title, author, and call number. Print selected. Here they are. You'll click this printer. Make sure you don't have fit to page. Fit to page will push the labels off the actual label on the sheet because fit to page wants to have good margins for like a school paper. You don't want that. You want scale, so they print on the labels, and then mine says save, yours will say print the labels. All right. Now your spine labels. Print item label sets, spine labels. By the way, this row and column, if you have a sheet of labels that you've already used, maybe you've used the first top 2 rows, you would go down to say 3, and maybe on the 3rd row, you've used the first label because you printed, I don't know, there'll be 6, 7 labels. You would go down to number 2, just to show you that. I'm going to print the 1 by 1 2/3 labels, and you're going to see it's going to print down the paper a little because of what I did here. Print selected. So this is assuming that this row is already used, this row is already used, and the one over here was used. And there are your spine labels. Same thing. Printer. Make sure it's scale 100, and then click print. Mine says save. That's the entire process of cataloging books. Always glad to help.